Hello, this is a video review for assignment number 17, and we're going to begin at the top of the assignment sheet, just as students should do at home, and begin with the warm-up. The warm-up uses fingers 5 and 1, and those fingers need very special attention. Finger 5 should really look like all the other fingers and stand up right on its tip. What it wants to do is to fall over and tilt to the side. So it would be a good idea before you play just to play fifth finger a few times and make sure you can do it without a tilt, and while making sure that the wrist is even, the knuckle bridge is floating up or pointing up to the ceiling, and the other finger, the thumb, needs to play on the side just where the fingernail meets the side of the thumb. And so it's going to look like this. I'll show you with the left hand, so that it makes a little sort of triangle when you look at the surface of the key. What the thumb wants to do is play back on the knuckle, and we want to make sure that it plays just on the tip. It really is much more flexible there. So the warm-up is 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, and then move up an octave. 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, and then you can move up again. 5, 1, 5, 1, 2. So we begin first with a non-legato sound, and then play legato. If it's difficult to control the shape of your piano hand while you're doing it, just go a bit slower or play a bit softer, or both. And then you repeat with the left hand. Now, the first new piece is called Autumn, and it's on page 10. And the unusual thing about this piece is that it's our first that starts away from a landmark. In this case, the right hand begins a second higher than treble G, and that should be circled in their score. Now, we'll need to do practice steps just the way we've done before, and it's very good to get in the habit of doing these for all the new pieces. The first thing is rhythm, so we point and count. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. The second thing is intervals, and as I look and start with the right hand, it's start, down a second, down a second. The right hand then does exactly the same thing, starts on fourth finger, start, down a second, down a second. And in the next part, it's the same, start, down a second, down a second. We can also feel these by going start on fourth finger, down a second, down a second. And we can play them, start, down a second, down a second. We just want to make sure that the rhythm and the intervals are really familiar before we play and count the whole piece. The left hand is simply start, up a second, down a second, up a second, down a second, same, up a second, and it begins on finger 3. So right hand fourth finger, I'm going to feel that in my lap, goes up to a second above treble G, which is this A. My left hand third finger is on C. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, and then repeat that 2 more times correctly. The next piece on the assignment sheet is on page 11, called Campfires. I'm going to work out just the first line of this piece. And this piece is also has a new element in that the left hand starts a second above a new landmark. In this case, it's a second above bass F, which is this G with second finger. Again, going over the practice steps with rhythm, intervals, moves, play and count. The rhythm will be 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the intervals for the left hand are start, down a second, up a second. Same, 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 down a second, up a second. The right hand is simply start, same. So left hand, I'm going to feel my second finger in my lap, float up to a second above bass F. My right hand's on middle C. So the first line sounds like this. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. As students play, their eyes should really be on the score and not on their hands, because their hands don't move around. Very helpful to take another book and hold it over their hands so that they're focused, their eyes are focused on the score. The last piece is called Robot. And in this piece we marked the form, which is the password for this week. And we called the first line A, the second line B, the third line A, because it's exactly the same as the first line, and the last line B1, because it's slightly different than the second line, and it will need a little bit of practice. By the way, this piece is on page 13. I'll play through the piece. I think the practice steps will be fairly easy. Watch out for the last line, because instead of beginning on finger 2, like all the other lines, it begins on finger 3. Here's the piece. So again, it's the last line next to last measure that starts on finger 3. Be very good to circle this. Do the same practice steps we did for the other pieces: rhythm, intervals, moves, in this case we don't have them, and play and count, and then I would practice each line separately. Alright, and there are 3 review pieces, and we're going to rearrange surfing into a new piece. So that piece is on page 9. They can change it any way they want, and we'll hear it in the next class. So thank you very much for watching, and happy practicing.